In this new lecture on French astrology, we are in the middle of the month of May 2014. I would like to speak on the question of astrology, the field of astrology, what is in astrology and what is outside astrology. I think many astrologers do not know how to answer this question. And why don't they know that? Why can't they define what is the field of astrology, what is upper limits of astrology? Is a point we are trying to settle tonight. I don't think astrology has to justify all the initiatives we take, but astrology can explain why some initiatives fail, which is different. The failures are not written in astrology, but our actions, when they are not in the line of astrology, can very well fail. In other words, we risk a lot when we don't follow the information that astrology gives us. For instance, there are certain political actions which are more or less convenient and which more or less correspond to what astrology tells us to do or not to do at a certain point, if our actions are adequate or not with the astrological pattern. That means that failure is a major issue in astrology. We cannot say that someone will not do that or that, but we can say what will be the result if he doesn't respect certain line. There is necessary, for instance, as I've said that sometimes in formal lectures, it's possible that we try things at a time which is not proper. At first, it might work in such a way, but after a certain time, it won't. Which means astrologers have to wait. They can, in fact, I could say, they can predict that something will fail or succeed. In fact, to say that means that it can be yes or no. If something necessarily, if what I do necessarily has to happen and has to succeed, there is no prediction. The prediction comes when there is a possibility that what we do will not work. That's what the predictions are for. Will I succeed in what I do or not? And if it doesn't correspond to the pattern, there are chances that it won't work. There's another idea, which is, what should I do to succeed? I'm not sure the question has to be posed that way, because astrologers are not supposed to be magicians. cannot force things. I cannot tell someone, well, I will tell you when to do things. Well, if I tell the person that he has to wait a few years, that's a reasonable answer. If I tell the person that if he does that on a special day in a few months, that's not a reasonable answer. This is a sort of magical astrology, you know. And in fact, making charts as something magical. Making charts is the contrary of following cycles. And I believe, finally, that people who make charts, natal charts, are in fact practicing a sort of magical astrology. Magic tells us what? Magic tells us that we can go against the normal process if we do certain things at a certain moment, at a certain second, at a certain minute. Then we have precision. Okay? Because the magician will tell you how to avoid the respect of the laws, of the natural laws or technical laws. And you will create a sort of micro time, not a time, a reasonable time of years, but a time which is something which can be defined at the level of an hour, at the level of a day, sort of infra-time, a time within the time. A sort of astrology against astrology, sort of anti-astrology which will not go according to the decrees of astrology, but which will try to avoid the decrees by finding issues, by finding breaches, windows of action. And this brings me to say that the astrologers who practice this natal astrology or this horary astrology, and I said in the past that many French astrologers practice natal astrology as if it were a sort of horary astrology, by combining the transits, sort of French horary astrology, I would say. And these practitioners, as I say, they are in fact anti-astrologers. Well, it's a little like saying to someone who is very old, yes, you are old, but I will practice something which will make you younger. Or, yes, I know you don't know this person, but I will make a sort of magic that this person will return to you. Magic is always the idea of acting against the normal process. And the natal chart is, or the horary chart, has to do with the idea of acting against the normal process, the normal astrological process. And so when I look at astrology, I see two astrologies. The white astrology and the black astrology. The white astrology is the astrology that Gauquelin has explained. The white astrology is the astrology of cycles. around a certain planet, a certain combination of planets, which takes a certain time to develop. We do not pass from one period to another period. It's not a matter of a few weeks. It takes more time than that. And if you are impatient, you don't want to wait until the time is proper for what you want to do. If you want to cheat with the time, in a way, then you have the black astrology. The black astrology has been invented by magicians probably, a few thousand years ago already, because there is always black and white astrology, black and white knowledges, which are developed in parallel. The black astrology is astrology practiced by people who erect charts, who make charts. And white astrology is astrology practiced by people who make horoscopes for the 12 signs, who make mundane astrology, who work on cycles. It's a more sane astrology, I would say. It's less dangerous. It's less addictive. We must not forget that when we want to act at the level of an individual person, this is the idea of the exception against the law. I want to have the power of doing certain things, although I know that this is not the time for doing that. But I want, my person, I want to escape from this law. I don't want to have to go according to that law. When someone speaks about himself, that means he wants to avoid the general law, the general situation, the general line of action. He is asking in a way, well, tell me how I can do certain things which are not supposed to exist. Tell me how I can be a different, how I can be an exception, how I can get rid of the law. That's what I think. So, there are those astrologers too, like Rudyard, for instance, who says that there are things that people do and which are not made according to astrology, according to their chart. Well, this is another situation, this is another position. As you can see, not all astrologers act the same way and have the same philosophy. So Rudyard is able to say, well, what you do, what this tendency you have now developed is not in your chart, and you should stop to do that. Well, this is not a totally unreasonable position. The only problem is, do you have the right model? Do you have the right pattern to say that? It's a great responsibility to say to someone, well, what you do, what you develop, this aspect of your character, of your personality, is not proper. It is influenced by society, it's influenced by your environment, by your milieu, by your family, but it's not proper because it's not on your chart. So this is another application of the chart, which I also dislike. really. But there is another approach also, which is, well, let us find out in the chart what the person has made of herself. Let us find out in the chart what are the elements which confirm what happened in the life of this person. So in that case, the chart is just supposed to be a mirror of what the person is, what we know about the person, what happened to this person. In all these cases, there is an ignorance of the law, of the norm, ignorance in both senses. Ignorance in the sense that I don't want to hear the norm, and ignorance in the sense that I don't know the norm. I think in English you have these two senses, but we don't have in French. So I ignore something, I don't want to hear of it. It does exist, but I don't want to hear of it. I don't want to go according to it. So that's what Rudyard says. I mean, whatever, if it's black magic, it means that I know that there is this law, but I won't respect it. Or I believe that this attitude doesn't correspond to the chart, so I will condemn this attitude astrologically. So I suppose that the chart is really defining what I am, what I'm supposed to do. But the problem is that in that case, Rudyard is concerned by the chart, not by the cycle, or it will introduce the cycle within the chart, which is not a solution. So what he's calling the law is in fact the chart, and the personal chart, which is absurd. A law is not for one person, the law is for millions of people at the same time. So I like rather this distinction between white astrology and black astrology. I think it talks to our mind, it talks to our ethics. And I believe in the idea of developing white astrology. Although white astrology is not as tasty, as piquant, as is black astrology. Because white astrology doesn't tell you that you are unique, doesn't tell you that you can escape from the common law. No. It tells you that you are part of a group, part of the period. You are not special. White astrology doesn't tell someone he is special. I would even say, you are a man, you are a woman. It's not special. You are not unique as a man or a woman. Black astrology, on the other hand, says, I want you to have your own destiny, your own project, your own astrology, your own astrological pattern, your own chart. And that means subconsciously, that means that you are, I as an astrologer, a black astrologer, I will help you to make things which are not natural, which are not common. I will put you above the laws, above the norms, above normality. You will be an exceptional person. And that's what also Rudyard would say. You are an exceptional person. As a creator, you are supposed to be exceptional and unique. And your chart, for that reason, is unique. That's what he says.